Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first video of this channel. I am a first-time indie game developer who finds himself at the very beginning, the very earliest stages of production. Perhaps a little bit earlier than usual, since besides making the game itself, I also decided to create a game engine, the first version of which you are seeing unfolding on the screen as I try to create a little graphical Hello World program. There are several purposes to this video, the first of which is of course visibility. But I also must admit I am doing this for myself. I have been working on this for quite some time now, and I felt a strong need to put something out there and start getting feedback from people. So there it is, your first Hello World, in Spanish of course, in case you haven't noticed the accent, which I hope is not too terrible. Please do let me know if I need to make a better effort to make myself more understandable. So here I am creating a simple character, humanoid figure, 2 arms, 2 legs, that's all, to be animated, which was the purpose of this first functional test. And I realized this geometry edition type of functionality isn't something that you normally would find in a game engine itself. This belongs more in a 3D animation suite like I don't know, 3D Studio Max, Maya, that sort of thing. But I figured, hey, why not? Since I am taking up the challenge of coding a game engine, why not try to put some geometry edition functionality in there and test my abilities as a developer, which has been quite challenging, I must admit, but also rewarding, because when you do something as complicated as this and you see it working, it's really something. So as you can see, I am creating only half of the character, and I am applying a symmetry modifier. And that little dong down there, that's not an anatomical representation of some part of the body. That's actually the root bone of the skeleton that I will need later on to rig this character to make it animatable, if that makes any sense. And the reason it has to be in that particular position is that right now, unfortunately, the internal origin of coordinates for the geometry model needs to match that of the root bone. It needs to be aligned, and yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, the placement, but hey, it's working, so it's good enough for now, I mean. So this green guy here, you may have noticed, is the same model as the blue character I was creating earlier, but it has already been rigged. It's ready for animation. You can see it moving now. And something I would like to point out, this very crude animation, it took me like, I don't know, 5 seconds, because I have a preset that it's a mathematical formula, so to speak, for the animation sinus. And out of all the trade-offs that you can find in software engineering and in any other discipline, really, I think one of the most important is productivity versus degree of finish. So this animation is more on the productivity side, and this actually is the optimal solution for somebody, somewhere, sometime. But I can do better than this. I actually was involved in with 3D animation quite some time ago when I was younger, 10, 12 years ago, I think. So I actually can try to make a more natural looking walk cycle. Actually, the plan for the next video is try to do exactly that, to do a proper walk cycle. Let's see how I do on that. Yeah, but for now this will suffice. I think you can see it's kind of floaty. It doesn't lean forwards or backwards, but for testing purposes it's good enough. It's good enough. We are reaching the end of what I wanted to achieve with this first video and functional test, which was basically to create a character, geometry model, rigging, and animation, and to do a walk cycle. Something you may have inferred already is that this is a one-man effort. Basically, I'm doing everything myself for now, which means that sometimes I will be putting on the developer hat, and sometimes I will try to shamelessly produce something that looks like art. As I said, I have some background in animation, character design, but that was very brief, 6 months max. But hopefully I will be able to produce something that's at least above average. So let me talk about what I want to do with this channel. This is going to be sort of a dev vlog with some art inclusions, because I also need to produce some art for the game. By the way, I haven't talked about the game at all. I have some ideas about. I know the genre for sure that I want to do the game in, but I'm not going to talk about that for now. I think it's better that way. But yes, so the idea of the video series, so to speak, is to show you how the software evolves, how I add new functionality, and how I will end up with a game engine that I actually can use as a framework to design and produce the game that I want to produce. And sell, of course, but that will be a very different story. So that's basically it for today's video. More like tonight's video. It's actually 4 a.m. Oh god, I love staying up late editing. But hopefully I was successful in conveying what I want to do and to achieve, and you found the content interesting and you will consider subscribing, because that would help me an awful lot. So would be very much appreciated if you subscribed, actually. So please do. If you enjoy video games and are curious about the technical side of things, and you also want to be among the first supporters of an awesome game which doesn't exist yet, and I talked in this video almost nothing about, this, Vegan T-Rex Games, is your channel. So please subscribe and stay tuned. More stuff coming up soon.